asked me, how did I get into great shape again? And most of my, I guess, adult life, I was in decent shape, but between the age of 40 and 50, I ballooned and gained a lot of weight. Some of you, may remember me. Some of you don't, but I was at my peak 11 years ago. I was 238 pounds. Now, I'll share a story with you in just a moment, but being 238 pounds is one thing if you've got a lot of muscle on you, but I was 238 pounds and I had 33% body fat. That's about 70 pounds of fat, visceral fat on the inside and on the outside. And so I was going downhill pretty quickly. And some of you may have seen some pictures. I posted one on Facebook. I was like a I don't know, a seal, a big seal. And just out of curiosity, are you in good shape? How old are you, and are you in good shape now? I'm talking about physically. Forget about spiritually, emotionally, and mentally right now. I'm talking about physically. Are you in good shape right now, or could you be in better shape? And so Megan saying, I'm down 35 pounds so far this year. Your goal is 70. Awesome, Megan. So I'm just curious, I've noticed a lot of my friends, they have gotten into worse and worse and worse shape as they get older, some of them. And there's a few of us that have gotten into better shape. So Scott, is that a no, you're not in good shape, or yes, you are in good shape? So are you in good shape? Are you in good shape for your age? And Jay Burt 44, awesome. Keto, before ketones, now since ketones release, 4 pan sizes, awesome. Listen, there's no hidden agenda, right, around our bodies and our minds as we get older. And I think a lot of people expect that it's going to be harder and harder and harder. And I think what's harder is making a commitment to getting into really good shape. I want to share a story with you that might help you understand why I decided to get into good shape. There were 2 things that happened that may help you. One, I had gone to see my doctor for my annual physical, and I was 48 years young. And usually what I would do when I would go see my doctor, before I'd see the doctor, I'd go to his office, I'd get blood work done, and then I'd go, a week or 2 weeks later, and we'd go through my blood work, and they do my blood pressure and EEG, EKG, all that stuff. So I get to his office, and usually my doctor, I've got a concierge doctor, we'd meet for my annual physical for about 2 or 3 hours, right? 2 or 3 hours. And so he asks me all the normal questions of, how are you feeling, what's going on? And then he started going into what he saw from my blood work and from all the test results. And he said to me, John, your blood pressure is too high. You're borderline hypertensive, too high blood pressure. He said, number 2, he said, you're borderline diabetic, just too much sugar in your blood. He says, number 3, you are on the verge of being obese with 33% body fat. And he says, and you're not even 50 yet. And he showed me a chart of where I was at, 40, 41, 42, 43. For 10 years, he showed me a chart. And I had gained over 35 pounds of fat. Now, there's a difference between water, right, and fat. And so I had gained 35 pounds of fat on my body, within my body. And I was like, holy shit, I better do something about it. And this was when I was 48. I'm 59 now, so it's 11 years ago. And so that was part 1. And yeah, I was shocked. And I did some stuff for probably about 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, and I got better. But then I reverted back to all my old behaviors. And that was around September of my birthday, 11 years ago. And in 5 months later, I was skiing with my sons. We have a home in Colorado, and I was skiing with my sons, Keenan and Noah. And we used to go up on the hill around 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning And I was going up, 3, 4 runs, 5 runs. And we were on chairlift number 10. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I was on with Keenan and Noah. And I said to the boys, after this run, I'm going to go in. And my son Noah says, Papa, he says, you're always tired. Like, why we're here on vacation? How come you keep going, in to the house, instead of skiing with me and Keenan and teaching us? You promised to teach us. I can tell you, my heart just sank. My heart broke because here we were, yes, on vacation, and I'd skied with him for about 2 hours, and here I am wanting to go into the house because I'm too tired. My body ached. I was too tired. I felt swollen because I wasn't eating well. I was drinking way too much wine the night before, eating too many desserts, and I just wasn't feeling great. And so here's my son telling me, Papa, you keep letting me down. You keep letting Keenan down. You promised you would teach us. And so I looked at my son after my heart was heavy, and I said to him, you know what, sweetheart? I'm going to make you a commitment right now. And he says, what, Papa? And I said to him, I said, sweetheart, I'm going to get into the best shape of my adult life, and I promise you right now that I will not only be skiing with you and Keenan for many, many years to come, but I promise you I will get into shape so that I teach your children how to board and ski like I taught you guys. Now, I want you to get this into perspective, right? I was 48 at the time, at the end, 48, 49 at the time. Keenan and Noah were 15 and 17 years old, right? So Noah was 15. I had to think in my head that 20 years later, possibly, I would have a granddaughter or son. But I made a commitment to my son that I'm going to get into the best shape of my adult life. And right after we finished that day of skiing and boarding, I called some friends of mine who could really help me understand how to win the game of weight loss once and for all, and how to get into the best shape of my life. And so let me just share with you what happened. First, I did research on what causes us to gain weight as we get older. What was the best mental and emotional and physical regiment to take into consideration? There's a couple things that I discovered. And before I share with you what I discovered, let me share something with you. For my 50th birthday, about a year and a half or so later, I went from 238 pounds down to 197 pounds, 40 plus pounds of fat. And I consistently talk, as you probably hear my language patterns, I consistently talk about fat loss versus weight loss. Now, if you want to fast today, you can lose weight, but you'll gain it back tomorrow. If you don't understand the difference between losing weight and losing fat, you're missing a big piece of the fat loss game and the weight loss game. And fat loss is a very different focus than weight loss. A lot of people go on diets and lose weight for a week or 2 or 3, and then they gain it all back. And there's a reason for that. And so I focused on fat loss, but I even call it releasing fat instead of losing fat, because we always try to find what we lost. But what I want to share with you is over 18 months, I focused on how do I release fat and keep it off. So I stopped drinking alcohol, which was a huge cause for me being inflamed all the time and looking like a balloon and feeling, my aches and pains on a consistent basis. And I stopped. I started to sleep better. I realized, and I found out through some of the scientists, that if you don't focus on proper sleep, you mess up something called your circadian rhythm, which is tied to this hormone called leptin. And leptin is one of these things that I never heard about. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. If your leptin levels are off, it makes losing fat really hard. So there's these hormones that play a part in whether you lose, fat or not. So number one, I focused on stopping alcohol, which I was drinking way too many glasses of wine. Number two, I started focusing on a little bit of exercise every day. A little bit of exercise every day. Now, I hired a trainer to come to my home, and even when I was exhausted, even when I was tired, even when I didn't feel like it, I had a trainer come over. Hey, Shashin. Right, I had a trainer come over and help me be in motion every single day. And the point that I want to make, our number one, is I had two big reasons why I must lose weight or release weight and keep it off. Number one was I made my one son a promise. I made him a promise that I am not only going to release the weight and get in shape, but that I would teach his children how to board or ski. So I had a long-term vision and a goal for that. That played a part in keeping my promise to my children because I value my word and my relationship with my sons and everybody else. And so number one was I made a commitment that was big, that wasn't just about me. And then number two, as I made a commitment for me and the kind of life that I wanted post 50. So staying in shape in my 20s and 30s was fairly easy. I could eat what I want, drink what I want, do a little bit of exercise, and felt good and looked good. But between 40 and 50, something shifted. I can't tell you exactly what shifted, but something shifted, and it was harder. But more than that, the habits that I had were just not the healthiest habits. And every one of us, okay, if you just paused for just a moment and you ask yourself this one question, imagine that you're sitting on a train right now and you're heading on the train, whatever direction the train is going. Now imagine if that train, okay, is your health, right? And your health, and let's leave mental and emotional and spiritual health and financial health aside for now, but let's talk about your physical health, okay? The diet that you have, the way you eat, okay, is going to produce a result today, in 6 months, in 12 months, in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, right? The exercise you get or don't get is going to determine whether you are in physical shape or not. So here's my question for you, since you're watching. Are you on the right train, on the right track? Are you on the right train, on the right track? And then the other part of this health thing is sleep. Circadian rhythm and sleep. So are you sleeping well so that your hormones regulate and your body could eliminate, your body could do what it needs to do? Are you eating a really healthy diet to give you energy, replenish your muscles, tissues, bones, and everything else? You know, are you exercising? And the reason I ask you to do a little check-in right now is you're on the train right now. You're on the health train going in a certain direction with certain behaviors. And if those behaviors are going to get you to where you want to go, how you want to feel, then awesome. Then you're doing all the right things. But if you, like me, are not taking care of it in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, then the results you're going to get are not going to be the ones that you're going to be proud of and that you really feel amazing with, right? So I was on the wrong train, going in the wrong direction, picking up speed, and with borderline hypertension, with almost being a diabetic, I knew what the consequences of those things are. Right? Stress causes more disease than anything else, and the last thing I want to do is be diabetic. And to be on insulin shots. And so what I discovered in my quest for more health was there's an inner game, as many of you know, and then there's also an outer game. So in the research, that I did around, okay, how am I going to recalibrate my habits, right? Because drinking wine every night with with my wife and friends. That was fun. Eating, what I was eating was fun. I loved my cookies and cakes and all that stuff. And having the ability to do that, that was fun. I enjoyed it, but it was also coming at a price, right? It was also coming at a price. My personality, if those of you may not know me, I have two speeds, high and off, everything or nothing. So I'm the type of person that doesn't have a glass of wine, I have 3 or 4. I'm the type of person that doesn't have a cookie, I have 10. I'm the type of person that I'm an excessive personality. So I just knew me, and that may be you, that may not be you, it doesn't matter. I knew myself. And so I had to make some shifts for me, or I wanted to make some shifts for me, because I wanted to be a great father. I wanted to be a great grandfather, not a great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather, but a great grandfather when my kids, if one day they had children. I wanted to be able to enjoy my life as opposed to, growing old. I wanted to grow young. I was focusing on the wrong thing. And so I was prepared to invest in a whole bunch of knowledge and skills to understand what is the right diet for me. And some of you know this and some of you don't. I became vegan about 7.5, 8 years ago. And so I don't eat any animal protein. I get all of my my stuff from vegetables, grains, seeds, legumes, etc. And so that was for me. I'm not saying you should be a vegan. If you want to, great. I did it for me. So I became a vegan. A few years later, I gave up alcohol, became a vegan. For the most part, I've given up refined sugar. Sometimes I hop onto the sugar train because sometimes it's hard. And listen, I guess I'm human, they say, right? And so sometimes I eat way too much sugar, but for example, this whole year so far, I have been off all refined sugar. Not one cookie, not one cake, not one chocolate bar, not one frozen yogurt, 0 so far this year. And so I just want to get better, right? Listen, a lot of times people forget that I'm human. The people that you follow, the people their books that you read, the videos that you see, you're seeing the best, the best in the books, the best in the videos, the best, but you're not seeing the stuff behind the scenes that we struggle with, the part of our lives that, are challenging us, whether, you see it or not. Every single person that you are following, including me, we have challenges. Now, here's the thing that I just want to remind you of. You and I have this unbelievable biocomputer called our brain, and with awareness and upgrading our knowledge and skills and tapping into the wisdom within us and getting some help, we can achieve so much, whether it's our physical health or mental health or financial health, right? So one of the things to keep in mind is that everything that you want to do is going to start off with a vision of what do you want your life to be. Like, I made a decision of what I wanted my life to be like, my lifestyle to be like first, right? What did I want my lifestyle to be like first? I wanted to be healthy, vibrant. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to take my kids and grandkids and wife and family on trips and to see the world when I'm 60, 70, 80, 90. I want to ski for my 100th birthday. I love to ski. So I want to take everything that I am capable of doing, and I want to live my life. And by the way, my team is going to put a link for those of you who want to learn how to win the inner game from a neuroscience perspective. There's a training that I did that you can sign up for. It's free. It'll also show you my winning the inner game of money. Winning the game of weight loss brain training system as well if you want it. So my team, Alan, if you could just put a link up, that would be great. It's a free training on the inner game stuff and some of the science. But what I decided initially was what do I want my lifestyle to be like at 50, at 60, at 70, 80, 90. I started with that first. And then I asked myself a question, and many of you know this question of mine that I've been carrying around since I'm 19 years old, and that is, are you interested in that lifestyle, or are you committed to that lifestyle, right? Are you interested, or are you committed? Because everybody wants to have a nice physique and feel energetic and look good and feel good and be able to do stuff. But are you committed to that? So you have to be more committed to your vision and you have to be more committed to your vision and goals, than you are to your current lifestyle and habits. Now, here's something to keep in mind. Change is hard. All right, if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, change is hard. There's a part of the brain called the striatum where all of your habits reside that work automatically, and it's part of your automatic self. It's part of the way your brain conserves energy, and your brain keeps you in your comfort zone. So if you're 10 or 20 or 30, or 50 or 60 or 70 pounds overweight, your brain is focused on keeping you at your comfort zone. Your brain is focused on keeping you in your comfort zone. And it just does that automatically as a way to conserve energy. It's part of almost like your brain's thermostat. And there's something that I discovered that I didn't know before, is every one of us has an internal, and somebody typed this out, fat set point. A fat set point. All right, so what's a fat set point? Our bodies get calibrated to carry a certain amount of fat on us. And when we lose that fat, we trigger a part of our brain that goes, hey, hold on a second there. I need this fat for survival, because fat carries 9 calories per gram, whereas carbohydrates only 4 calories per gram. I know you don't want to know the details. And so your body actually likes to hold on to fat just in case you need it. And if you think about this for just a moment, why would your body want this? Well, if you think about the evolution, of our species, right? We had food, we didn't have food, we went out into the forests, or we went out, to forage for food, or to hunt. And sometimes we got what we needed, sometimes we didn't. So our brains became really good at identifying, the caloric value of food. It loves to store fat, and that's why we store fat so well. So we have to recalibrate our brain's fat set point, which means we have to override some of our, biological processes. And in the training, I've got a few experts that'll help you understand how to do that. But the other part of this is we have an image in our mind of, when we look in the mirror. You see yourself, for day after day after day, week after week after week, month after month after month, and your brain develops a self-image of what your body looks like. And as soon as you and I start to lose weight, our brain says, hey, that's not the image that we have. Let's eat more food so that the images match between what I see in the mirror and what is in what I call the hidden self-image. So there's a lot of new research around our hidden self-image is really what controls how much we weigh. Think about it, right? We have this conscious goals, but our hidden self-image is part of our subconscious mind. So if the image is off, and this is why, think about this. This is the ultimate question, right? People go on diets. They exercise, they go on diets, they lose 1 pound, 3 pound, 5 pound, 10 pound, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds. And then what percentage of people keep it off compared to gain it all back? Right? How many times have you yo-yo dieted? Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. I lost 250 pounds, 10, 15, 20 pounds at a time. Right? I'd lose it, gain it back, lose it, gain it back, lose it, gain it back. It's freaking maddening, right? You do the work. I'd throw out pants, go buy new pants and new jackets, only to go and buy the old size again. So I got tired of that. And I went, what the hell's going on? And here's one of the challenges. Most people go on a diet until they get to this certain weight, and then they start eating and doing all the things that they did before. And so it's this vicious cycle. Does this make sense? Have any of you ever experienced that? And I'm looking at your at your comments right now. Have any of you ever lost weight only to gain it back, or is it just me? So I've been fascinated with the inner game here, but I want to thank you, Becky. I want to just challenge you to do something. If you keep that image, of you're on a train going in a certain direction with your health, your physical health. Your physical health affects your mental health and vice versa. But if you're on a train, heading in a certain direction right now, you can predict where you're going to be in 6 months, in 12 months, in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And here's what I've discovered for me. It doesn't get easier to change as you get older. It actually gets harder to change. And the answer for that, reason behind that, is because the patterns in your brain become even stronger. So when we're looking to have any kind of change, what we actually have to do is atrophy, is get the neural patterns to basically deactivate our habitual way of being, so that we can create a new pattern that we then have to reinforce it. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of a little tip before I say goodbye. And the tip is this: if you're going to do anything, okay, to release weight and keep it off, okay, I'm going to give you two things. Number one is commit to a lifestyle change that you can sustain. Commit to a lifestyle change that you can sustain. Do not commit to a diet. Commit to a lifestyle change, and that diet, fits into that lifestyle. That's number one. Number two is commit to 100 days of change. Not 1 week, 3 weeks, 5 weeks, 10 weeks. Commit to 100 days of change, of the new behavior. So the new eating plan, the new exercise plan, the new sleeping regimen, okay? Why? Do not just do it short term. Why? It takes about 66 days to 365 days to change the neural patterns that are driving your thoughts, emotions, addictions, behaviors on a day-to-day basis. So at least 100 days. And if you can do that, commit to a lifestyle change, which includes how you want to eat going forward versus going on a diet. It's a total shift in how you are and who you are, and then commit to 100 days for that change and put the environment around you. Those are the first couple of points, okay? So all I can share with you is this year in September, I'll be 59. I have a goal to have a six-pack at 60. You want to see these that I'm working on? Should I show the abs? Yes? Did I do it? So I'm working on my six-pack. I don't show these often, but that's what I'm working on for my 60th birthday. I'm working on it right now, all right? Only because I've never had a six-pack before, all right? Only because I've never had a six-pack before, not even in my 18-year-old, 20-year-old, 25-year-old. I just want to do it because I want to break the mold of what it's like to be 60. Why not be vibrant, healthy, energetic, looking good, feeling good, doing everything that you can do for your 60th birthday, or your 70th, or your 80th. So if you want to go deeper onto this, my team will put a link up. Watch the training on the brain side of this, and hopefully this has helped you a little bit. I want to help inspire people, not just to make more money and not just to be healthier in emotions and mental, but what about physical body as well? What about in every area of your life? My first New York Times best-selling book was Having It All. Not having some of it, having it all. Health, wealth, relationships, career, business, charity, contribution, spirituality, fun, and experiences. Let's have it all. Let's have it all. I know that you can do it. I know that our brains are capable of helping us. And so let's have it all. I want you to be healthy. I want you to have energy and vitality. And that's my wish for you. All right? I hope you have a great day. Every Tuesday, I do this over here on, on my social media channel. And have a great day. Tuesdays at 9 a.m. I do it over here. That's 12 o'clock New York, and that's, I don't know what time it is in London. All right, by the way, before I go, where are you from? Let me know where you're from. Just type in where you're from. I'm using 2 monitors today so I can see a little bit bigger. Where are you from? You're welcome, Sharon and Diana and Kelly and Celia. 6-pack by 60. Yes. Hey, Becky, where are you from? London. Oh, what time is it in London right now? I see London. Hey, Hector. Awesome, Celia. Yeah, let's get in shape. It's summertime. Let's get in shape on the northern hemisphere anyway, right? Shaf, hello. Elizabeth, hello. Hi, Christelle. Yeah, let's get into good shape. Baltimore. My son went to school in Maryland. Baghdad, Argentina, Georgia. Nice. Chicago, Memphis, BC, India. We're in India. I've been to Agra and to Ceylon. Montreal, bonjour. Portugal, I still have to come to Portugal. Brazil, yeah, it's awesome. Istanbul, Russia, still need to go to Russia. I've never been to Russia. Saskatoon, Germany. Iraq, hello there, my friend from Iraq. From the UK, living in Spain, hi there. Christian, 6-pack, son Albert. Hey, buddy. Nice to have Russia, Iran, love it. Okay, have a great day. Appreciate you, and we'll see you next week. And there'll be lots of stuff during the week. My team will put a link up for those of you who want to go deeper into winning the game of weight loss. Bye now.